Hey everyone, welcome back to RJK English. Today we're going to talk about arguing moral points. Many of us have things that have happened to us or people we love or even to our country that we do not like. And when we argue that a wrong has been done, it is all right to say, I don't like that this happened. It's better to point to universal principles. So for instance, let's say that someone hits me and I complain, this is not right. That person hit me. And I say, this is absolutely immoral. Justice needs to be done. Maybe I take them to court. But then I turn around and I start hitting someone else. And then that person complains. And I say, no, it's okay if I hit. It's not okay if someone else hits me, right? What would that argument really look like? I would just be arguing opinion at that point. I would be saying, I don't like when bad things happen to me, but it's all right if I do it to someone else, or maybe if someone else gets hit, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. It's okay to do this, but other people will not take you very seriously. It's better to argue from a universal principle. Where can we get universal principles from? Sometimes we think we can get it from religion. My religion says this. The book that I follow says this. But if other people don't follow that book, well, then what's your argument? They don't hold on to that point. In a trial, often lawyers will argue for what the facts are in the trial. There might have been many facts, but only certain facts are allowed into the trial. Why? Because they want to bring in the points of fact that we're going to point to make our argument. What's better is if I point to a universal principle, like just generally morally, we all believe that we shouldn't hit other people. Let's say if someone attacks us, we can defend ourselves, but I should not go out and hit someone. Okay, this would be a universal principle. Now it gets complicated because when should I be able to do something? Let's say we're talking about countries. When should countries be able to go to war and when shouldn't they? This is the realm of ethics. Okay, but I can also point to things like, what about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights from the UN? I could point to that and say, but according to the Declaration of Human Rights, I should not be attacked. That could be. We'd have to look at the Declaration of Human Rights. But now you have to be consistent about the application of this rule. Once you use this rule, you have to be consistent. If you aren't, you are inconsistent, not consistent. So when I say, I don't like that I was hit, but I can go ahead and hit this person, you are not being consistent unless you prove somehow that you are so superior that you should not be attacked. Because you are so superior. I don't think you'll argue this, okay? You might be able to argue that in your own country where a lot of people agree, oh yes, we're the greatest in the whole world, you know. But overall, other people won't take you very seriously, okay? So in my conversation with students, often they have what we call grievances or issues that they feel that their country or their people were treated unjustly. Well, it's good for us to talk about the universal principle. What is the universal principle that was broken against them? And then what I would challenge them to say is, are there other people that have experienced this, and is it wrong if it happens to them or if it happens to that country? If you don't think it is, then I would say you're only caring about your own country, your own situation. And, you know, I can listen. I feel for you. I empathize with you. But if you don't have universal principles, then I can't take your argument that seriously. Also, universal principles and ethics help us to take some of the politics out of our arguments. We're arguing about ethical principles in general. This helps us to argue across international borders about general principles. Then when we get into specific political situations, we have to argue around these principles. And if I then in my argument about politics say, no, it's fine if my country invades others, that's fine. Well, then I'd say, but you had a universal principle before where you said this. Now you have to argue according to that principle. People are not always consistent with these, right? Just like in a trial, lawyers aren't always consistent. But by having that principle entered into the debate that people agree on it, now we have a place to argue from. Now it's, I don't like that my country was treated this way. And I go, why? Because of this principle. Now we can argue from this principle. We have a place to start. If we don't have a place to start, then it's just my grievance against yours. Oh, I don't like that you hit me. Oh, well, one time you once did something to me. Well, I don't think it's good to use violence. Oh, remember that time when you stole? And then it just goes on and on and on and on. And often that leads to whoever's the most powerful makes the rules. But if we want justice, real justice is about universal principles. And we don't often see real justice in the world, but it's a good principle to work with. It's a universal principle that we should work with universal principles. All right, so I hope this was helpful. All right, see you later. Hi everyone, welcome to RJK English. Make sure to like and subscribe, and that will help me make more of these videos. I'm on YouTube and on Instagram, and see us on Facebook, and we can talk further.